All right, let's tear into Odoo fields. And I don't just mean the syntax. We're talking about the deep architectural choices that can literally make or break your app's performance. So yeah, buckle up.
Seriously? I want you to burn this quote into your brain. It is not an exaggeration. Most of the time, when an Odoo app is grinding to a halt, you can trace it back to a bad decision made right at the field level. It's the difference between a snappy, scalable system and, well, a buggy nightmare.
So here's the promise. In the next few minutes, you're going to get the mental models you need to write fields that are performant, correct, and totally scalable. Let's do this.
Okay, first things first, we need a huge mindset shift. When you type fields.char, you're not just writing a line of Python. No, you are an architect. You're designing a database schema, brick by brick.
Just look at this. Every single line of Python you write for a field has a direct one-to-one mapping in PostgreSQL. Your fields.char, that becomes a varchar. That many-to-one, it's an integer column with a foreign key. And when you type index equals true, you're literally telling Postgres to create index. This isn't some high-level abstraction, folks. It's a direct command. Your field choices are the database.
Okay, so now that we're all on the same page about how serious this is, let's get into the core fields. But this isn't going to be some boring list. We're going to focus on the critical trade-offs you have to make from the get-go. All right, these are your daily drivers, right? Char for short text, text for long descriptions, integer for numbers. You get the idea. Pretty straightforward stuff. But don't get too comfortable, because even here, there are some major traps waiting for you. And here it is, the first major mistake pretty much every new developer makes, using float for money. Just don't, ever. I mean it. Floating point math is a disaster for currency because of binary rounding errors. It's how you get those infuriating penny-off bugs that drive accountants crazy. The only correct answer is the monetary field. It's currency-aware, it handles rounding and precision correctly, and it will save you from a world of financial data bugs. Okay, here is your first big performance decision. You got a fixed list of options, something like draft, sent, done. A selection field is your best friend. It's super fast, no database joins needed. But what if your users need to add their own options, like new product categories? Well, then you have to use a many-to-one. It gives you that flexibility, but it comes at a cost. Every time you read that field, you're doing a join in the database. It's a small hit, but it adds up, so choose wisely. All right, let's talk about the glue that holds your entire ERP together, relational fields. You absolutely have to understand how a many-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many work under the hood if you want to write performant code. It's non-negotiable.
And you know what? It's actually way simpler than it sounds. A many-to-one is just a foreign key column. A many-to-many, that creates a whole new table, a joint table, just to link two records together. And the one-to-many, this one's the clever one. It doesn't even exist in the database as a column. It's totally virtual. Odoo just does a reverse search to find all the records that point back to it. It's a query, not a structure.
Now, when you have to actually manipulate these relationships in your code, please, for the love of all that is maintainable, do not use the old tuple syntax. Seriously, what does 6-0 IDs even mean? It's a nightmare. Since Odoo 15, we have the command API. It's clean, it's readable, it's self-documenting. Command.set. You know exactly what that does. Use it, always.
All right, time to talk about the double-edged sword of Odoo development, computed fields. They are incredibly powerful and probably the single biggest source of performance problems in custom Odoo apps. And when you create one, there is one question and one question only that you have to ask yourself: to store or not to store? The answer to this changes everything about that field.
So here's the deal. Store equals false is the default. It means the value is calculated on the fly every single time you read it. Great for fast writes, right? But it can be killer for read performance, especially in a big list view. And the big one, you can't search or group by it. Now, if you set store equals true, you flip the whole thing on its head. The value gets calculated when one of its dependencies changes, and then it's written directly into the database. This means writes are a tiny bit slower, but reads are lightning fast. And most importantly, you can now search, filter, and group by it. It's a classic read versus write optimization.
But be careful, there are two huge gotchas here. First, if you use store equals true, that @API depends decorator is your lifeline. You have to list every single field that affects the calculation. If you forget just one, your data will become stale and you'll be chasing phantom bugs for days. It's the #1 mistake people make.
Second, what if you want that computed field to be editable? By default, they're read-only. Well, you need to write an inverse method. That's a special function that tells Odoo how to take the new value and apply it back to the original fields.
All right, let's get into the pro-level toolkit. These are the field attributes that really separate the senior devs from the juniors, especially if you're working with modern Odoo.
Lightning round. Pre-compute equals true? This forces a stored field to be calculated before the record is even inserted into the database. It's essential for things like SQL constraints. Company dependent? A super slick way to handle multi-company data by storing it in a single, scalable JSONB column. Tracking equals true? Boom, one line, and you have a full audit trail for that field right in the chatter. And on delete, this is critical for data integrity. Restrict will stop you from deleting a record if something else links to it. Cascade will delete all the linked records too. Whoa, be extremely careful with that one.
Okay, 2 quick tips that will save your app's performance and security. First, images. Odoo is smart. It automatically creates a bunch of different thumbnail sizes for you. So for goodness sake, use them. Never, ever load the full-size original image in a list or Kanban view. It will absolutely murder your performance. Second, HTML fields. Sanitize is on by default, and you should leave it that way. It automatically strips out malicious code and prevents XSS attacks, which is a must-have in any system where users are entering their own content.
Hey, quick heads up, for those of you on Odoo 17 or newer, you know the old attrs and states attributes we used in views? They're gone. Now we just use direct Python expressions right in the XML, like invisible equals state equals draft. It's way cleaner and a pretty big win for front-end performance.
Okay, let's bring this all home. We've covered the theory, now let's talk about the practical stuff, avoiding pitfalls and prepping for the real world.
But before we do that, I have to give you a critical warning. This is non-negotiable. When you change a field definition in your code, like changing its type, you are directly altering the live database schema. If you mess this up, you can and will lose data permanently. So always, and I mean always, back up your database before you deploy any schema changes.
So here it is, your top 5 most wanted list of common mistakes. We've hit on all of these, using float for money, forgetting a dependency, going crazy with store as true and killing your write speed, picking the wrong relational field for the job, and trying to load massive images in a list view. Seriously, if you just avoid these 5 things, you're already way ahead of the curve. And finally, a little gift for your next technical interview. Think of this as your cheat sheet. If you can walk in and confidently nail these 5 questions, you are going to prove you get the Odoo ORM on a much deeper level. You need to know the store equals true trade-off cold. Explain how a many-to-many join table works. Know when a trigram index is useful. Explain exactly why float is bad for money. And of course, preach the gospel of the command API.
So, if there's one thing you take away from all this, let it be this. Field choice is an architectural decision. It's not just syntax, it's the foundation of your entire application. So think before you code. Now I want to hear from you. What's the single most expensive, painful, or just plain weird bug you've ever had to fix that all came down to a bad field choice? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks for watching.